Today I'm bringing sunshine on my canvas. Watch me paint these gorgeous sunflowers with loose brushwork. I'll be painting with a very limited palette. I've mentioned the colors that I'm using. Now this is a trial study that I have done. This just helps me understand the values and I get to know my subject a bit better so I can go loose with it. I have taped down the paper. It's a watercolor paper that I'm using, and I just draw a simple grid so that I can understand where I'm supposed to place my subject. As you can see, I've placed the blue vase, and I'll be not adding in the book or the base of the table. Instead, I'll be making a few changes over here. Also, I'm pretty loose with my sketch. I'm not adding in too much of details, nor am I being too particular about the details. I sketched the outline using a very diluted mix of the blue and the red, and I'm using the same mix to add in the darks. This underpainting layer of either 3 to 5 values is basically just simplifying my subject into darks and lights, and also it is a very helpful tool if I want to change the colors. Though I'll be sticking with the same colors, but it is a way you could change colors by just putting in your darks and lights as a map on which you could work on later. This step also helps me eliminate all that glaring white, and the underpainting layer also, if it peeks through the final painting, it looks really nice. Now that the underpainting layer is completely dry, I am blocking in the color. Now this is the background color, which is blue, white plus tinge of burnt umber to mute it a bit so that it's not glaring and it does not compete with the sunflowers. I mixed a darker shade of the blue to have a contrast between the light background and the darker vase. I just darkened this same mix to add in the centers of the sunflowers. In the color blocking stage, it is just important to lay down the color according to the value that we have mapped out and not be too much bothered about the details or the highlights. Just place the color. It could be the same color, it could be an approximation, but only the value has to be same at this layer. The color blocking is done, and it's now time to refine. It's time to add in more layers, add in the highlights, add in the details. You could go in as detailed as you want it to go on. This is also my tweaking or correction layer, where I keep on checking whether the form is right, the values are right, the contrast is enough. So keep checking at this stage, analyze your painting as you keep on working on it. I like to not add too many details, so I keep it a little less detailed. You could go in as detailed as you want. Now if you notice, on the left side of my painting is a 5 value grayscale card. Now this is something which I make before my painting. This helps me understand the darks and the lights. So if I've mixed in a color, I just place it on this value card and check if the value is right by squinting. If it's right, I go ahead and paint it. If I don't find it of the correct value, I just tweak it a bit, adding in more light or dark, whatever I need. You could make a 10 value sketch card also, and this works perfectly fine. This is an amazing tool if you want to check in your darks and lights. And the best part is you could reuse it, just paint over it with again a black and gray scale, and it's good as new. And it's time to bring in the drama. A few highlights on the vase as well as a few petals on the sunflower, and we are done. And that wraps up my sunny painting adventure. Thanks for joining in. Until next time, keep creating and exploring new artistic possibilities.